Hi everyone, my name is Antero Garcia. Usually when I do something like this, I'm talking to a crowd, so it's going to be a little quieter with just you and me today. But today I'm going to be talking about Kanye West, Wikipedia, and my dog Olive, and what they've taught me about teaching and the accomplished lessons I've learned from them. So first I want to tell you a little bit about Kanye West. If you don't know who he is, it's 2012, so you probably should know who he is, but he's a rapper. He was also a college dropout, and what I'm more interested in is he is someone who reinvented the way music distribution worked in the year 2010. So if we flash back to the year 2010, what Kanye West did was every Friday he gave away a free track of music. Right? He just gave it away. People would download it. He'd respond to what people said. He took some of their feedback and adapted what he was doing. And as a result, later that year, he released his album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which if you're not a hip hop fan, you're probably not gonna like. But it's a really interesting kind of messy album. And what this album did was it responded to what people were asking from him in his music. He was thinking about their work, what they're saying to him, and I like how he shifted the context of his relationship with his listeners. Right? I think that's something that we could be doing as teachers. And so it's what I was trying to think about in thinking about Kanye West, right? How does he look at what his audience is asking of him, and how does he shift what he's doing, right? Kanye West's album was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm talking about dark twisted pedagogy. I think this is an interesting way to think about our relational nature of what happens in our classroom based on someone like Kanye West. There's a caveat here though. And the caveat is Kanye West is a mess, right? He tends to run his mouth, he tends to go all over the place with his ideas, he tends to say kind of crazy things. And so I want to recognize that the way Kanye West doesn't do a good job of separating his personal and professional life is something that we should be thinking about as well in terms of our interactions with young people. My next example is Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is that thing that we tend to go to when we want to look something up, but it's not reputable, so we're not supposed to go there, but I go there anyways, right? So I was looking up on Wikipedia the phrase, my bad. I knew my bad from the film Clueless, and I was interested in what Wikipedia would tell me about where this phrase came from. The interesting thing was it didn't exist. In fact, when you typed my bad into Wikipedia, it would send you to the Latin phrase mea culpa, which is totally a different thing. Mea culpa, while I get that they kind of have similar definitions, don't have the same cultural cachet. And so I wrote, as you can see on the slide, I wrote to Wikipedia and said that's not the same thing, it shouldn't redirect, it should be at its own page. And the greatest written publication I've made to date is the fact that I've published the My Bad Wikipedia page. Since then, you can see there's been tons and tons of people who have commented and had added to this page, and they've made it something much more robust. But just because all of these people are writing in the same place around the same topic doesn't mean we're a community. We need to be more intentional about how we're connecting with each other, right? So instead of thinking about this is a community that's online because we're all here, it's more like it's like digital cubicles where we're all just kind of sitting in the same space. So now I want to shift again and talk about my last example. My last example is someone who's very near and dear to my heart. Her name is Olive. She's a one-year beagle. Well, we thought she was a beagle, but she's actually part beagle, part Jack Russell, which means she looks cute like a beagle, but she jumps like this high in the air, which is kind of a pain once in a while. I'll let you look at this picture for a second, because I think she's really cute, and I hope you agree. But what I want you to recognize is that the context of this picture is lying to you, right? The reason is because as all of it she's represented here is standing still. Most of the time she's more like this. She's kind of an evil beast who's destroying things, who I don't know what she's gonna do. I'll come home at the end of the day and I don't know what Olive's chewed, right? I don't know what she's gotten into. I don't even know if she's jumped the fence. I'm gonna have to go and search for her for a long time, right? So this is a picture of Olive a couple minutes after I gave her a toy. She then had destroyed it, and so I really had to figure out who is Olive, right? If I think about my teacher and learner relationship with Olive, who is she, right? I am inflexible in terms of forcing her to do the things that I want her to do. Here's a picture of Olive bossing around a Great Dane. She's a 15-pound dog, and she's kind of telling this Great Dane what to do. A couple minutes after this picture was taken, she jumped out of the dog park where this picture was, and I had to chase her in the parking lot, right? Because that's who Olive is. That's the nature of being Olive, right? And as a teacher, I'm trying to tell her what to do. And I don't have that flexibility with a dog of letting her make those decisions. But as a teacher, I can really give her some more flexibility. I can give a student more flexibility. I need to kind of shift that power relationship. So if I think across all three of these examples, right? One is about the way we think about technology and relational nature from Kanye West. One is about what community does or does not look like online. And one is about thinking about flexibility of us as teachers and our students, right? A lot of times we think about how we look to technology as like the great answer to a lot of our problems, right? But I think there's a lot of real intentional considerations we need to make as we think about how it works in our classroom. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.